Thank you, Parts.
You're welcome.
I salute you.
All right, I salute myself.
Yeah. There you go. Well done, sir.
If you don't blow your own horn, nobody else is going to. I gotta tell you that. They might not even put their lips on it. I'm not sure.
All right, now you went too far.
Coming to you basically live from the Greenville Beer Exchange, or GBX as us cool kids call it, on Lawrence Street in glorious downtown Greenville, South Carolina. I'm Russ Heaps, and welcome to this episode of It's Just Bourbon. And that's where we just grab a bottle of bourbon.
Is this a bourbon?
Or rye. Jeez, oh Pete. Or rye.
Or rye. Or American whiskey.
Or American whiskey.
I thought there was something called anything but bourbon.
There is.
And then there was bourbon.
No, there's bourbon and rye is in It's Just Bourbon. How long have you been doing this?
Long time. Okay, carry on. Don't mind me. I'll just be quiet over here in the corner.
So the big mouth guy over here is my buddy Big John Richards, who's actually the beer whisperer, but he's got a great palate. We like drinking together, and so here we are doing this. The guy in the middle, E. Randall Porter from parts unknown in Ohio, has been a fraternity brother of mine for 50 plus years. This is actually a bottle that he brought with him, so we're going to rely on him to tell us a little bit about it.
Salute you, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
You don't have to salute. Well, I get
So
I'm thinking about it.
So anyway, this is Whistlepig 10 year, and it's a rye. And I also want to mention that GBX is open for business. There's a lot going on. Every time you hear the bell ring, an angel gets its wings and somebody comes in the door. So, having said all that, Ports, what can you tell us about this?
Okay, well, this is...
He's a little fuzzy on it, but...
Yeah, a little fuzzy, but this is a Whistlepig 10-year rye that is a
Small batch, single batch.
Single barrel.
Single barrel.
10 years old, okay? And this was a special selection through the state of Ohio Liquor Control. They had a big drop on one Saturday morning where they were releasing this plus a lot of other kind of highly sought after bottles. And just as an example, they posted, the state of Ohio posted there were going to be this big drop on a Saturday morning. I think they released it on their website maybe Thursday night or Friday night that all the liquor stores are going to have these bottles dropped. So where I bought this, I live about a mile away. So I woke up at about 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning. And just for, I guess, hoops and giggles, to fall under the YouTube guidelines, I thought, well, I'm just going to drive by my local liquor store and see what's going on. Well, by 8:30, there were probably 75 to 100 guys already lined up outside the liquor store that wasn't going to open until 10 o'clock in the morning to get their hands on these things. So I went there.
It's not quite iPhone 15 or 17 or 23 or whatever they're on, but it's still...
So I decided, well, I'm not going to do that nonsense. So I got up, and drove there. I got there about 10:15, 10:30. And most of the really sought after stuff was gone, but they still had this on the shelf, so I went ahead and bought it. I've never had Whistlepig.
At all?
Never had it. So I thought,
You're a virgin. You're a Whistlepig virgin.
I am. And so
This is possible.
So I thought, well, this is a highly sought after bottle. I'll go ahead and buy it. And then when Russ told me he's got this big shindig tomorrow going, I said, well, I'll bring it down and we'll enjoy it together. So that's the story.
That's exciting.
Of the acquisition of the bottle.
Yeah.
Now the juice inside, I just found out that Whistlepig started distilling in 2015, so the fact that this is 10 years old means that they hadn't sourced this from someplace else. Right. So they had.
But it is aged in Vermont somewhere.
Right, aged in Vermont. They probably sourced this from someplace else.
I'm guessing Indiana.
It could be MGP or from Canada, because rye.
Oh, I think maybe it is Canada now that I'm thinking of it.
Rye whiskey is a big thing in Canada.
Now that I'm thinking about it, now that you mentioned Canada,
Right.
I think that may
And so
be
this
it.
was a special barrel pick from the state of Ohio, and it's 108.9 proof. And so we're gonna try it out.
Yeah, don't squint. It's just not going to get any better.
54.4.5,
Something like that.
something like
Very
that.
close. Thank you, sir. I was sitting down. I saw it. I said, Whistlepig, this is Northern Santa's favorite.
None for me.
Now,
Are you kidding?
as far as the mash bill, I'm not sure.
It could be anywhere from 50 to 100%.
This could be 100% rye mash bill. I'm not sure.
We had some trouble locating the numbers as we were trying to investigate that on the way in.
And it probably has nothing to do with the fact that we have had
Certainly not.
several beers today,
Certainly.
and many of them high test.
Just after putting my nose in that glass. Do you have an eyedropper with you, Russ?
I do. I don't
Outstanding.
know where I
It could be anywhere. That bag of
it's right over here.
excellent.
So you're the nose or the expert. What do you get off the nose
This
on
this nose is so big on this. It's so perfumey and so acetone. The nose is so big. That's why I asked for the water bottle, because the nose just, I feel like it burned all my nose hairs out. And I'm not sure what I'm doing. I feel like I'm getting something like cherries or like apples. I was going to say grapes.
Grapes?
Really?
I'm not positive.
I don't even get cherries out of it, let alone grapes.
The first thing that popped into my head was some kind of fruit.
See, I'm not getting fruit at all. I am getting big toffee and caramel is what I'm getting.
I haven't burned enough of my nose hairs out yet, maybe. There's obviously toffee and that candy sweet backbone side of it there. There's
But
I'm definitely smelling some kind of fruit. And the first thing I thought was cherries, and the second thing I thought was grapes. So that's my assessment of it so far. I haven't tasted it yet.
oh, you're still nosing it.
Yeah. Oh, it takes me forever to get past the nose.
That's good. I've walked about 4 to 5 games one day. So.
And it's, I shouldn't have done that. One of the things that I've learned when drinking, especially high proof whiskey, is not to swirl it around in the glass.
Why is
because
that?
the ethanol, the acetone, that smell of alcohol gets so big that it just blows everything else away, and you can't get any of the subtleties out of it. And because I'm a beer drinker by trade, if I pick up the glass, I swirl the glass. That's what you do, because you want to release those aromatic compounds. But you don't want to have to do that with this one.
It's definitely spicy on the back end of the palate. It's spicy. I will say that.
It's fucking delightful. I have a lot of love for Whistlepig, and among my friends, I am known as Northern Santa, and that Whistlepig is known as Northern Santa's favorite.
Well, I'm glad you're here to enjoy it.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite whiskeys, and the regular, the standard is 7 year, right? If I remember correctly. Do you know that?
I think it is.
I think it's 6 year.
Is it 6?
I think it's 6 or 7.
6 year.
Right.
I'm guessing 6 or 7.
So, so I walked up to the table and saw Whistlepig 10 year. Ooh. So this is exciting for me. Put it on your tongue, and it's all toffee right up front. It's just bright, big, fresh, toffee flavors. I don't know that I'm pulling a lot of fruit out of it once it hit my palate, but as it lingers maybe a little, but the first thing, it just goes right from that toffee into that big, spice cabinet,
Right.
spicy, bright. The word bright's not the right word. That it's a brisk finish on the end of this, but then it just lingers. It feels like it's going to go away when all that spice hits, but then the sweetness lingers, and I feel like maybe that's where I'm pulling more of the cherry on the end, and I'm starting to lean more towards cherries than grapes with whatever I'm tasting in there.
Apples.
Often it's apples. Russ is giving me a lot of shit. I find a lot of apples in a lot of whiskey.
I put a couple of drops of water in this,
Yeah.
and on the nose, I'm getting apple.
Is that right?
Honest to God.
Maybe it's apple. Maybe I'm just fooling myself into thinking it's something else.
I'm getting Granny Smith apples.
2 drops.
Yeah. When I put the water in, and when I, drank it, it seems like it's, I don't know, there's more flavors coming out. I can't identify them, but I'm getting a lot more
So
flavor.
that's, we've talked about this a little before, but if you're watching for the first time, this is a very viable trick you can do at home.
If you're watching for the first time, God bless you.
Drop a couple of drops of water in your whiskey. And I learned this years ago from a professional whiskey taster who said
Wasn't
they do that to take the whiskey down to what they call a tasting strength, which, if I remember right, they said they're shooting for like 33% alcohol. And that's supposed to be the thing, or some magic number, that's where alcohol, the thing tastes its best. You taste all of the flavors and all of the strength without all of the aggressive burn. I can't vouch for the authenticity of any of that information, but I can tell you that putting 2 drops of water into a glass of whiskey this size will drastically change it.
Well, from my understanding, watching those 2 guys from the Whiskey Academy, the fact that there's oils in the whiskey, and when you put a few drops, oil and whiskey don't mix.
Right.
And so it brings some of the oils to the top, which is where some of the flavors are. And that's what kind of, as we say, opens it up or enhances the flavor profile with just a few drops, not a bunch, not a whole ice cube or anything.
No, and throwing an ice cube in there, you lower the
Right.
temperature, and that just
Right.
numbs your tongue, and you can't taste anything. So
Right. Cold is the enemy
Yes.
of flavor.
yes, that's why you heat your leftovers up in the microwave, because if you don't, you can't taste them. Seriously, what? Think about it.
I suppose. I do. I am not,
It's-
John, I'm not,
Once I put the water in there, I'm with you.
I'm not kidding
I'm
you.
Somewhere,
I get on the nose, I get apples. I
I'm
get green
somewhere
apples.
between Granny Smith and Golden Delicious.
Yeah.
On that, and it is definitely, as soon as I put the water in there, it's 100%
Yep.
apples.
Yep. I don't get it on the palate, but I do get it on the
I
nose.
do. It's the more it lingers with me, the more it tastes like apple pie on the back. I'm getting some cinnamon back there too. I don't know that there's not some cherry in there or something that's lingering around the edges, but the apple comes right front and center when you put a little water in there.
That's why I've been like, calm down.
Unless you got, I'm gonna pour some for Devin. Man,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been looking for them, but
oh, well, I'm just gonna find him after we're done, unless you can make him come up here. I'm just not gonna cause problems. I thought I was gonna pour it the other way. I decided I'm gonna do it the safe way.
Devin is the owner of GBX, who was kind enough,
Gracious enough to
great, and farsighted enough
Truly.
to let us do this, and hopefully we'll be back. I think it would be wonderful to make this the new Beer to
You
Whiskey
know what?
Studios.
We've got access to so many good beers here.
They've got 23 taps, but the front end of this place is a beer/wine store, and the beers are You're not going to find Miller Lite. You're not going to find, that kind of shit. You're going to find rare, hard to get, special things.
There's
And
probably more eclectic, weird, off the wall beer here than there is in just about, probably, we're on the list for that for beer stores in the South. And not just in South Carolina or Greenville. I mean, Devon's been doing this for so long and developing those relationships. We got Anchorage barley wines up there. You got Anchorage barley wines, Anchorage saisons out of Anchorage, Alaska. They don't go anywhere. They don't go anywhere.
When I was here last Friday night, I was here about a week ago, and there was a guy who was shopping beer from Charleston. And he actually drives up here to shop for beer in the front end of this place. So
And they have a Charleston Beer Exchange.
maybe he doesn't know that. Maybe he's not aware of that.
It's not owned by Devon,
Oh, well,
but
that's,
it was
probably
the
the
same
difference.
the same people, the people that opened up Charleston Beer Exchange, then opened up Greenville Beer Exchange, then opened up Edmunds Oast. And South Carolina says you cannot own a brewery and a retail establishment. So when they opened up Edmunds Oast, they sold the Greenville Beer Exchange and the Charleston Beer Exchange to their respective managers. At the time, that was Devon. And so Devon's owned it now for, I don't know, probably a decade or...
See, that's a bit of trivia that you might be able to win a drink out of.
Yeah, seriously.
Anything else?
This is delicious.
It is. It is wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ports.
Thank you, Bart.
You're welcome.
I salute you.
All right, I salute myself.
Yeah. There you go. Well done,
Well-
sir.
If you don't blow your own horn, nobody else is going to. I gotta tell
Well
you
said.
that. They might not even put their lips on it. I'm not sure.
All right, now you went too far.
All right. Cheers.
So damn lucky.
That's the one we were waiting for.
So damn lucky. See you next time.